President-elect Joe Biden promised sweeping reforms to K through 12 education, but some question whether those changes will make their way to Texas public schools.
Especially at a time when Texas lawmakers face significant funding challenges. KXAN education reporter Alex Capriello reports.
I'm a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president.
President-elect Joe Biden has promised to make lasting improvements to public schools, like paying teachers more, diversifying student populations, and closing funding gaps for low-income schools. But when it comes to creating lasting change for Texas schools, state lawmakers say federal promises only go so far.
If you are concerned about the state of our schools, if you want to see greater funding, if you want to see improvement in our classrooms, you need to focus your energy on your state lawmakers.
Representative James Tallarico of Round Rock is a former middle school teacher. Tallarico says legislative change is most successful when federal and state lawmaker goals are in alignment. He's already filed 6 bills related to education. But he says state lawmakers face an uphill battle with a major budget shortfall due to COVID-19. House Bill 3, the historic school finance overhaul that state legislators enacted back in 2019, is also in jeopardy. He says if state lawmakers can't balance the budget, education reform would be one of the first things to go.
It's going to be up to lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle to stand up for House Bill 3 and to keep the promise that we made to students, that we made to teachers, and that we made to parents.
Tallarico says a federal financial injection to the Texas budget, like the one the state received during the last recession, will help reduce cuts and allow the Texas legislature to continue prioritizing public education. Alex Capriello, KXAN News.
Some of the other bills Tallarico filed today include setting a statewide standard for air quality and filtration in public schools and reducing class sizes for pre-K students. He also wants funding for programs to help children cope with the stress of this pandemic.
Here are some of President-elect Biden's plans for high school and college students. He wants to see investments in vocational training at high schools. The goal is to create partnerships between high schools, community colleges, and employers. Another campaign promise, 2 years of community college or trade programs at no cost. The same holds true at 4-year universities for students whose families bring in less than $125,000 a year. Biden plans to cut payments on federal student loans by more than half, with graduates expected to pay off more than $25,000. After 20 years, the remainder is forgiven if borrowers have been making payments. If you earn $25,000 a year or less, you won't owe any student loan payments and you won't accrue interest.